that.
It's already in there.
I'll send a note to them.
Just say a couple of words to level 4.
What do you have for breakfast this morning? Just to get the level time.
Porridge. A good bowl of Irish porridge.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, that's fine. Level caution.
Darren, the first question I've got to ask you, what's it been like for you? Because you've had your debut professional fight. What's it been like turning pro from the heady days of Beijing?
I'm really enjoying the whole experience, you know, to get one-on-one tuition from the trainer Brian as well. You know, I've never been used to that. I've always used to be training in kind of a real squad environment with the national team and kind of, you know, crying out for individual attention from the coach, you know. But no, I'm really enjoying it. The sparring, the road running and everything. It's just really suiting my style down to the ground, you know, because you're not so much thinking anymore about, you know, points and, you know, really up on your toes, running around the ring type thing. You know, you can actually get in and have a good fight.
Was it a difficult decision for you to turn pro after getting the bronze medal?
No, it was because, you know, it was always my ambition from day one to turn professional. It was really a matter of when as opposed to if, you know. And being 26 and being at an Olympics, you know, you can't really go any further than a bronze other than getting a gold medal. And to wait 4 years and you know, for the fact that anything can happen, and then I'd be 30 and then I definitely would have missed the boat. So, you know, right now is the right time. My main ambition was to make sure I got the right people behind me, and I think in Frank Maloney and now a trainer, Brian Lawrence, I think I've got the right team now to go forward.
You've got a tag already, going into your second fight, of comparisons with Joe Calzaghe.
Who's giving me this comparison?
People write us about you, the same, you know, a bit of Joe Calzaghe, from somebody that saw you fight in December, who reminded you of him in his younger days. How does that tag sit with you?
Gee, it's a great compliment to be paid. You know, if I can, you know, even achieve half of what Joe has, you know, it's an amazing record that he has, you know. But I'm hoping to kind of set out my own individual stall on my style of boxing. You know, I think I'm a heavy enough puncher, you know, and I think with Brian, just working a lot more on defense and being elusive as well, you know, because I can box. A lot of people think I can only fight. It's just the thing is I like to fight. That's my problem. So Brian's getting me to be a lot more, you know, precision with my boxing and you know, not be taking any silly shots.
Another of the British Olympic medalists is making his debut this weekend, James DeGale, fought in the same division as you. Tell us about the fight you had against him in the Olympics, because prior to that, you had the better record against him.
Yeah, going into that fight, it was we'd had 5 fights and it was 4-1 to me. So everyone was really expecting me to win the fight, and I didn't take my eye off the ball or anything like that. It's just, you know, I tried to box a certain style, you know, hands up, nice and high, and get in and fight. But, you know, he's very good tactically. Boxing to the computer, you know, it suits the style of boxing that he kind of fights. If he'd engaged me in the ring, it'd have been a different story, you know. And yeah, so to be honest, I just say, yeah, he done what he had to do that day, beat me then. But, you know, we're starting out with a clean slate, and hopefully both myself and the other fighters, you know, in the next couple of years we build up, you know, good reputations, good records, and these fights will be made, you know, and I'll be looking forward to it.
Well, I can't believe we're already talking about it, a James DeGale, Darren Sutherland rematch.
Well, it's not really just me, all the press and everything are talking about it, but there's a long way to go, you know, and as far as I'm concerned, you know, I just want to fight and I want to win titles, and I'll box whoever's put in front of me, you know. So if that match is made later on, you know, the general public will scream out for it, especially if we both, you know, make the same progress.
One thing Frank was saying earlier, the difficulty he's got is with your patience or impatience. You know, you really would be fighting the best now. Obviously, you want to become a world champion. And the question I've got for you is, when will you become a world champion? How will you do it?
Yeah, I'm not in a rush. It's just I'm eager, you know, and I like to be tested, you know. It's just, I think I like the competitive side of the boxing. So kind of after being as an amateur and boxing kind of the best in the world and not having a choice of who you box, you entered and your box was in front of you. Suddenly now it's kind of a different kettle of fish where they're kind of selecting opponents, you know, and some of the records you look at and you think the guys have lost a few more than they've won. And so I'm kind of like, geez, get me in with someone better. But, you know, I've only had one round of professional boxing, so really, you know, Frank and also Brian, they've years and years of experience behind them, so you got to listen to them, you know, and it's obviously in their best interest to kind of develop my career. So so I've just got to kind of be patient, and these fights will come. But as regards to what you asked about time frame, I've set myself a goal that I hope by the time the next Olympics come around that I will be either a world champion or be in a position of fighting for a world title. So, you know, and I want to pick up then the kind of domestic titles along the way over the next few years.
And how are you finding it with no head guard and no vest? I know your first fight didn't last too long, but how are you finding that?
Yeah, it was a big change, you know. The first thing I did say to Brian just before I went out to fight, I was like, I feel naked, you know. We're so used to having, you know, the head guard, the top and everything, and it's kind of a comfort factor that you get of having a head guard on your head, you know. Whether it does protect you as much is another thing, but yeah, you know, there are things to get used to, and also being the main kind of, you know, even though I was a supporting fights to Rendell, because it was back in Ireland, everyone had kind of come to see myself, so it was like being the main event, and I'm so used to going to other, like the amount of fights I've had in Ireland as an amateur has been minimum. You know, most of my fights have taken place you know, abroad, and we always go into hostile territory, so it was a real shock to the system, a nice one to get that reception and that buzz, and coming out to music as well, you know, because I'm a big music fan, so I enjoyed the whole experience, so I can't wait till the next one.
Good stuff, happy with that. Looking forward to it. I hope things go well for you, mate.
No
really
worries.
lovely to meet you. Thank you very much.
I'm a bit of a talker, as
no,
you can see.
You're brilliant. So. Hey, you'll be good at this game. Yeah. Trust me. You only have to say, you won't have to say cut. I tell you what, if you